Trump and others on the stage ducked for cover. Blood could be seen near Trump's right ear as he was escorted off the stage by the Secret Service. He was taken to a vehicle and transported away from the site.
On July 13, 2024, the nation was shaken when former President Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. When he was speaking to a crowd of supporters, a gunman named Thomas Matthew Crooks fired multiple shots from a nearby rooftop, hitting Trump in the ear and tragically killing one rally attendee while injuring two others. FBI Director Christopher Wray quickly became a crucial figure in the aftermath of this attack. He testified before Congress about the FBI's investigation into the shooting, emphasizing the need for accountability and transparency. Lawmakers grilled him about the security failures that allowed crooks to access the rooftop, leading to the resignation of Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle.
In order to dispel conspiracy theories, have you guys been able to subpoena the shooter's Discord records, or has the FBI, to your knowledge?
I believe that the FBI is working on those.
Okay. Is it factual to say that you have not ruled out that the shooter was working with other people or persons?
Again, the FBI is conducting the criminal investigation into the shooter.
Can you, at least in an effort to dispel conspiracy theories, can you confirm or deny that?
At this time, we do not have that there were any other people engaged.
So you believe he's acting alone?
I do.
Okay. Have you been made aware of multiple eyewitness reporting that there was a second shooter on a water tower?
I do not have any information related to any second shooter.
Director Cheadle, fresh off the Secret Service, is also dodging a $7 million lawsuit. Jail time looms. Will she survive this storm? Watch the complete details in this video.
Was there ever a moment where the Secret Service actually considered pausing the rally?
The Secret Service would have paused the rally had they known or been
So the answer is no.
An actual threat.
The answer is no, correct?
I can speak to you in generalities.
On July 22, 2024, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle spoke to the House Oversight Committee about the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. She admitted the Secret Service failed to protect Trump and apologized for the lapses that let Thomas Matthew Crooks open fire at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th.
Crooks lived in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, about an hour's drive south of Butler, where the rally took place.
Thomas Crooks.
He graduated from Bethel Park High School in 2022.
Despite warnings about Crooks and the risky roof days before, Crooks got onto a nearby building and shot Trump, injuring his ear and killing a former fire chief with two others hurt.
A protective intelligence team, a counter sniper element, and detail. Who was the agent in charge? How long has she been the agent in charge? And what is her Secret Service background?
So I'm not going to provide a name.
Why not? You're here to answer our questions.
This forum, I'm not going to provide names of.
You stated in your testimony, you said, I am here today to answer your questions.
That is correct.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to provide names of our personnel.
Why not?
Cheadle admitted the agency failed and took responsibility for the incident, but insisted she was still the best person to lead the Secret Service. Despite this, she faced calls to resign from both major parties. Cheadle admitted she hadn't visited the shooting site in Pennsylvania, which many found odd, considering it was the biggest failure of her career.
Take a look at what happened.
Secret Service agents swarmed former President Donald Trump and rushed him off stage after a gunman fired shots during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
We had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene.
Trump said he was shot by a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. On his Truth social media platform, he wrote, quote, I knew immediately that something was wrong and then I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. A New York Times photographer captured this image of what appears to show a bullet racing by the former president's head. The FBI identified the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. They say he fired shots from outside the secure cordoned area of the rally, atop an elevated structure.
He starts shooting. Bow, 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 bow. About 4 to 5 shots rang out.
Law enforcement converged on Crooks' family's suburban Pittsburgh home overnight.
They asked us to leave our house. They told us it was a state of emergency. no warning. They just knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
Officials say the gunman fired 6 to 8 rounds from an AR-15 assault rifle before he was shot and killed by a member of the Secret Service counter-assault team. The FBI called it, quote, surprising that he was able to fire at the stage before he was killed.
We do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was.
Last night's rally in Pennsylvania was former President Trump's last before the Republican National Convention gets underway here in Milwaukee. Right now, plans are underway to expand the security perimeter around this venue. President Biden spoke with Trump Saturday evening. He condemned the attack.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick.
Trump was treated at a local hospital. He returned to his golf club in New Jersey early this morning.
The building from which Thomas Matthew Crooks shot Trump was about 400 feet from the stage and not included in the Secret Service's security area. Local police were supposed to secure the building, but no officers were on the roof, raising questions about why the building was left out of the security perimeter.
Cheeto, I'd like to remind you that you're under oath. The site team has a senior supervisor, an advanced team, a protective intelligence team, a counter sniper element, and detail. Who was the agent in charge? How long has she been the agent in charge? And what is her Secret Service background?
So I'm not going to provide a name.
Why not? You're here to answer our questions.
This forum, I'm not going to provide names of.
You stated in your testimony, you said, I am here today to answer your questions.
That is correct.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to provide names of our personnel.
Why not?
Today.
The American people are demanding these answers from you today, Ms. Cheadle.
I will do the best to provide you accurate information based on the facts that I have at this time.
You're not answering our questions. The advance element coordinates with other intel or law enforcement partners, identifies threats and weaknesses at the sites and movements. We'd like a copy of the advance report. Have you brought it here with you today?
We will comply with the request for the documentation that has been requested.
When will that be, Ms. Cheadle? Because you should have brought it today.
I am certain that our personnel are working on obtaining all of that documentation.
I don't believe you, and neither do the people watching this hearing. You're not doing well.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene harshly criticized Cheadle during the hearing, calling her a failure. Greene said Cheadle mishandled the security situation and failed to recognize a potential threat to the president's safety.
Not prepared today to answer our questions.
I am prepared to answer the questions based on the information and wanted to be able to provide.
Do you have a timeline at all from any of the day?
I have a timeline that does not have specifics.
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job. Let's talk about things that are prohibited in Trump rallies. And I've been to a lot of Trump rallies.
Greene questioned why Secret Service agents did not perceive Crooks as a threat when crowd members did. She suggested a possible lapse in security protocols and asked if there was an order to stand down or a plot to kill President Trump. Cheadle firmly denied any conspiracy.
A local law enforcement officer told CBS News a sniper from a local tactical team at the rally took a picture, saw Crooks looking through a rangefinder, and called for backup. But by the time the officers responded, he had scaled the building. One person was killed in the attack, and 3 others, including former President Donald Trump, were injured.
Greene also wondered why snipers didn't shoot Crooks and why he was allowed on the roof of a nearby building. She didn't hold back, calling Cheadle a complete failure at her job. Cheadle apologized and promised to do everything possible to prevent a similar incident.
Not prepared today to answer our questions.
I am prepared to answer the questions based on the information and wanted to be able to provide.
Do you have a timeline at all from any of the day?
I have a timeline that does not have specifics.
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job. Let's talk about things that are prohibited in Trump rallies. And I've been to a lot of Trump rallies.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene called for Kimberly Cheadle to resign immediately, demanding she submit her resignation letter before leaving. GOP Representative Scott Perry from Pennsylvania also questioned whether shorter Secret Service agents were suitable for protecting the former president. Perry, a retired U.S. Army National Guard Brigadier General, suggested that an agent's height might affect their ability to protect effectively. Perry has been involved in several controversies, including supporting Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 2020 election results and trying to invalidate legitimate votes.
Between December 23rd and January 3rd, the president either called me or met with me virtually every day, with one or two exceptions like Christmas Day. And before that, because I had been announced that I would become the acting attorney general before the date I actually did.
He helped Trump replace acting attorney general Jeffrey Rosen with Jeffrey Clark, who backed Trump's election fraud claims. In August 2022, the FBI took Perry's cell phone as part of their investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack. Text messages showed Perry trying to help Clark get appointed as acting attorney general. Perry has also faced criticism for supporting conspiracy theories like the Great Replacement Theory and QAnon. During the hearing, GOP Representative Russell Fry asked Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle when Thomas Matthew Crooks was identified as a threat. Fry mentioned that someone reported a problem near Trump's location about 5 minutes before the shooting. Cheadle responded that Crooks became a known threat just seconds before the gunfire began.
On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today.
Representative Nancy Mace subpoenaed Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle to question whether the Secret Service had provided the requested information, including a list of law enforcement at the rally, recordings, and internal memos.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been...
Yes or no? You didn't want to answer the question. We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit.
Cheadle's unclear answers frustrated Mace. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna also criticized Cheadle for not answering questions, accusing her of lying under oath and demanding perjury charges. Luna warned of contempt charges. Cheadle defended the agency's hiring practices and female agents, stating they hire the best people and are dedicated to safety. She emphasized that all agents are well-trained and capable, despite sexist and right-wing attacks. Some commentators and Republican lawmakers claimed hiring women, including a female director, was just for diversity and made the president less safe.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead.
On July 22, 2024, lawmakers from both parties visited the site of the attempted assassination of former President Trump. The House Homeland Security Committee members wanted to understand how Thomas Matthew Crooks accessed the rooftop. Republican Mike Kelly from Pennsylvania questioned why a security agent wasn't on a nearby water tower, which could have provided a clear view of the area. Carlos Jimenez from Florida called this an apparent mistake by the Secret Service. Democratic Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi pointed out that the Butler Farm Showgrounds were too extensive and suggested the nearby fairgrounds would have been safer for Trump's rally. They stated that the public needs accountability, which Cheadle needed to provide.
This incident does not define us, and that she didn't want to be a distraction. In a statement, President Biden said Cheadle had shown incredible integrity.
I take full responsibility for any security lapse.
Kimberly A. Cheadle, born in 1970-1971, served as the 27th Director of the United States Secret Service from 2022 to 2024. She joined the Secret Service in 1995. Growing up in Illinois, Cheadle attended a Catholic high school in Danville, Illinois, and Eastern Illinois University, where she graduated in 1992. She has said the death of her brother in a car accident in 1988 led her to pursue a career in law enforcement. Shortly before his death, her brother said he wanted to become a state trooper in a central Illinois newspaper. The newspaper said that 4 years after graduating from college, Ms. Cheadle applied for a job at the Secret Service. She joined the agency 3 years later, starting at the field office in Detroit, where she worked on financial crimes. She has served in several Secret Service roles, including Special Agent in charge of the Atlanta Field Office, Special Agent in charge of the agency's training center in Laurel, Maryland, and Assistant Director of its Protective Operations Office. That office, where she worked before leaving for PepsiCo, is responsible for developing technology to secure facilities and events. The agency's primary job is to provide security for the nation's leaders, including current and former presidents. On September 11, 2001, Ms. Cheadle was part of a team that led Mr. Cheney from the White House to a secure bunker after planes crashed into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. Cheadle also served on Joe Biden's protective detail during the Obama administration and became the first woman to serve as Assistant Director of Protective Operations. President Joe Biden appointed Cheadle as Director of the Secret Service in September 2022. In 2021, Cheadle received a Presidential Rank Award for exceptional performance. In April 2024, after an incident involving a female agent on Vice President Kamala Harris's detail, Cheadle faced further scrutiny over the agency's hiring and disciplinary processes. During her reign, she faced intense problems after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in July 2024. Cheadle admitted to security lapses and faced calls for resignation from lawmakers. Critics targeted her focus on diversity in hiring, remarkably increasing the number of female recruits.
The resignation came in the wake of a grilling by members of the House Oversight Committee.
I don't want to add to the director's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, but I will be joining the chairman in calling for the resignation of the director.
Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today.
For once, both sides of the aisle meeting angrily in the middle, and the House Speaker expressed what appears to be a common reaction.
She should have done this at least a week ago. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that she has heeded the call of both Republicans and Democrats. Now we have to pick up the pieces. We have to rebuild the American people's faith and trust in the Secret Service as an agency.
Cheadle served in the agency for nearly 3 decades, and the man who appointed her director 2 years ago expressed his gratitude. In a statement, President Joe Biden thanked her for her service, saying, "As a leader, it takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service." And he added, "I wish Kim all the best and will plan to appoint a new director soon." The shooting of former President Donald Trump was the first known assassination attempt on a president since 1981, when Ronald Reagan was shot outside a Washington, D.C. hotel. In her letter to staff members of the Secret Service, Cheadle said, "The scrutiny over the last week has been intense and will continue to remain as our operational tempo increases. As your director, I take full responsibility for the security lapse." With the election season now well underway, members of Congress insist the appointment of a new Secret Service director is a matter of urgency. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
On July 23, 2024, Kimberly Cheadle resigned as director of the U.S. Secret Service due to intense pressure from lawmakers after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Cheadle initially hesitated to resign, but after the hearing, she faced pressure from both parties to step down. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin were among the prominent figures calling for her resignation.
Are you prepared to fire the human failure on the ground? Yes or no?
I don't have an answer as to whether...
Well, then how can there be accountability if you're not prepared to fire someone? And the reason why your name is going to be the person who's held accountable, the reason why members in this committee are calling for resignation, and I join in that, or for the president to fire you, is because you're saying there's going to be accountability, but you can't commit that people are going to get fired. Would you have tendered your resignation if he had been killed?
I think that I've admitted that I've taken accountability and will take responsibility.
You said you spoke with President Trump after the assassination attempt, and I want to know, did you apologize to him directly for nearly having President Trump killed?
Yes, I did.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that you recognize that this was your failure.
Comer said Cheadle failed to inspire confidence, while Raskin stressed that she needed to leave her position. In her resignation letter, Cheadle admitted to the security lapse and accepted full responsibility. She wrote, "Former Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle was named in a $7 million lawsuit 3 days before the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which ultimately led to her standing down on July 23rd. Boris Zavadovsky and Elena Dvoynik sued the Secret Service, its director, Austrian police, and others, claiming defamation and invasion of privacy. They alleged that the Secret Service and U.S. agencies contacted hotels and companies in America, falsely claiming to investigate them for criminal activities. At the time, Zavadovsky was allegedly a U.S. government employee. This lawsuit is part of their ongoing legal battle against the U.S. and Austrian governments. Users alleged, without evidence on X, that Secret Service resources were diverted from Trump's rally to protect First Lady Jill Biden at a campaign event in Pittsburgh, a claim that Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi denied, saying, "Protection models don't work that way." Guglielmi said that Trump was given additional protective resources as part of the increased travel tempo, and that any suggestion that resources were refused was absolutely false. The agency later acknowledged that in certain instances, some security modifications for Trump were not provided. But Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle testified at a congressional hearing on July 22nd that the assets that were requested for that day, July 13, were given. Elon Musk wrote on his platform X that extreme incompetence or deliberate action by the Secret Service enabled the shooter to get on the roof, where he fired his gun at Trump, in a post viewed over 90 million times. In a dramatic turn of events, the FBI director has been sentenced over the Trump attack scandal. The fallout marks a significant shift in the ongoing investigation. Stay tuned as we continue to track the repercussions of this high-profile case. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for updates.